Ty Bartell with another edition of Player Profile. This time we head up to our friends over in the Akron community, home of the Archbishop Hoban Knights, with one of their seniors, Mackenzie Edinburgh, joining me today. Mack, how are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. And with these player profiles, I always kind of like starting where chapter one kind of began. We already know what the senior chapter has been looking like. You guys are in the midst of a regular season. That's another great regular season. We'll get to that in a minute. But I'm kind of curious, where did this kind of basketball journey start for you? I know you've been in experience with it in about 10 years, right?
Yeah.
What's some of the earliest memories? When did you first get yourself involved in the sport?
I started playing in third grade. I really loved watching the older girls play basketball when I was younger. I loved going to high school games. That was really where the love for basketball started for me. So,
What's some of the earliest games you remember participating in? Do you have like an earliest memory in basketball?
yeah. Well, I don't really remember what grade it was, but I remember winning our championship one of these years. I think it was fourth or fifth grade, and that was really an exciting moment for me. And I actually played against one of the girls that went to Hoban a couple years ago who also played basketball. But yeah, that was pretty exciting.
That's awesome too. And would you say that kind of like championship win kind of put the stamp on like this is the sport I want to play all the way through high school?
Yeah, definitely. It was really exciting for me. I loved basketball, and yeah, it was honestly really fun. So.
So from that journey to getting into a very prestigious program with a great coach and Pam Davis over there at Archbishop Hoban, how did you find yourself becoming a knight too and finding yourself in this really good program, really good school?
Well, when they coached at McKinley, I really loved Kirsten. I thought she was a great player. So just knowing that because I don't know, I was kind of looking at going to Canton McKinley, but I didn't live in Canton, so that was the only downfall. But then I heard that they were coming to Hoban, and it just changed the whole perspective for me. I was so excited, and I honestly wanted to go to Hoban before they even came to Hoban, but my mom, it was a whole big story. So when they came to Hoban, it really changed our perspectives, and I was really excited.
Take me inside this school too, because every student, whether they're an athlete or just a student too, I mean, there's so much talent inside of Hoban too. But one constant too, whether they're alumni or currently in the school too, is the love for that school is unmatched. It feels like. Take
Yeah.
me inside the walls of Archbishop Hoban's high school. What makes this place so special for you personally?
Well, Hoban's just a great school overall. The education is great. The people are great. It's just such a loving community, honestly. Everyone's so welcoming. As soon as I stepped foot in that school, everyone was just so welcoming. And not only just the school, but the basketball team too. I was welcomed right away. So,
Both Coach Pam and Coach Willie, the Davises, are legendary in and around Northeast Ohio too. You talked about that being a big factor. What's it like being coached by a Pam Davis too? What's her mind like in the sport of basketball? I always try to pick her brain anytime I can, but it feels like her knowledge of the sport is limitless.
yeah, it really is. I love Pam and Willie as much as, sometimes it gets a little hard or rocky or whatever. They're great coaches. They do know a lot about basketball. So I just really try to trust them and trust the things that they're telling me, not only me, but my teammates too, because I know that they're here to win. I mean, all of us are. So they just want the best for us.
The one thing too that's constant with Coach Davis, both the Coach Davises, I should say, is that they always bring out successful teams. Whether it's they have that superstar player that's averaging 25, 30 a night, rather, or they have a team of kind of like all stars. And it feels like you girls are kind of like that team where it's like we don't have maybe one girl that's going to average 25 necessarily, but any of us can score 25 if you're going to leave us open, right? What's that kind of like playing on a team like that? What's it? What's the camaraderie? What's this team like this year? 16-3 on the season. You guys are in the midst of another great one.
Yeah, it's kind of a pressure reliever, honestly, because knowing that not just one of us have to score, but any of us can really score, like you said. So that just gives us an advantage overall because not like Zig, maybe one day she's on, maybe one day I'm on, maybe one day Devin's on, maybe Grant. Like it really doesn't matter for us. So that's I think an advantage us obviously. So
I've seen quite a few games where you were on. One that comes to mind down in Austin Town Fitch. You were clipping threes left and right to a great game all the way around. You're a sharpshooter, a great perimeter shooter. what kind of work had to go into you developing that skill and being able to kind of show the consistency that you've been able to show this season from beyond the arc?
Um, just like trying to keep myself uplifted, having my teammates uplift me and stuff. Um, Recently I haven't really been on with my threes, but my coaches just keep on trying to motivate me, especially Coach Willie. He's big on trying to get me to shoot my threes. So he's trying to get me to, really evolve my mid range. I mean my, shots.
When you talk about still keeping the confidence, though, I mean, you're still scoring right around double digits the last few games as well, if I'm remembering correctly. So for you to still be able to find production too, maybe when one of your top shots, your perimeter shot, isn't finding the mark right now, what does that do for your confidence when you know you can still be productive in other areas when one of your best shots maybe isn't falling?
Yeah, and the Wadsworth game, for instance, I did not make any threes at all, and I shot about like 7 of them. So just knowing that if my shot isn't falling, I need to do other things that can help my team, and it was driving. So I just had to keep driving in order to help my teammates out. So
Wadsworth game, you guys also celebrated the senior nights. You one of the three too.
yeah.
It's your year. I mean, and it's still your year. You guys are going into postseason now, but you girls were the leaders too. I mean, you girls are the ones that have the video on the board this year too. I know how exciting that is as well before games. What did you learn the most about yourself as a leader from maybe freshman year until now? What have you learned about yourself, your leadership style for your senior season?
I just need to be confident, honestly. Coach Willie would tell me that I need to, speak up more because he believed in me and believed that I could be a leader. So just really trying to stay confident, helping the girls out with whatever it was that they needed, whether it was on the court or off the court, just being there for them, honestly. So
You guys ended the regular season 16-3. You had that win over Wadsworth on your senior night. Now it's the second season, right? It's what a lot of people in Hoban call the second season. It's tournament time too. For you personally, do you have like a way you lock into tournament games? Is it a different feel? I mean, obviously it's a different almost style of game, kind of different mindset going into it, right? Win or go home. How do you lock into tournament games and get ready for a postseason run?
you might laugh because I feel like if I get too locked into the game, I don't play as well. But
For
I feel
sure.
like I have a little bit of fun, make TikToks before the game. It honestly helps me. Like I feel like that's when I go and I can play my best. But when I'm too locked in, I feel like I'm just not really there, if that makes sense.
It's a game at the end of the day, and it's still supposed to be a little bit of fun, no doubt. You talk about going on to this postseason run. I know you girls are well acclimated with winning district championships, but district championships are not something that the Knights hold with high regard over there in Hope, and they always want more too. And I know your teams always want more. You strive for greatness. What for this postseason run too? What are you guys looking at specifically with this team? What's it going to take for you girls to make another district or further type run?
Our defense. Once again, the Wadsworth game, we held the team to 20 points, which is great, honestly. So, just really defense. That's our main thing. Our coaches always talk about defense. We just need to, keep teams under 30, really, and that's all that we really have to worry about because the offense will come.
You talk about that defense too, and I think that second half you guys kind of played that chess style of defense too, where we're just going to play keep away, we're going to salt away the clock, and hey, you can't win if there's no time left, right? I love the way that this team can play those different styles of basketball, and it feels like whenever you guys need to make that change, like you girls are all receptive to it. What has it taken for you personally to be able to be so receptive to, okay, we're going to be playing a fast pace. Okay, we're slowing it down. All right, it's a defensive grinded out game. How are you able to be so kind of universal in the style of basketball you could play?
Honestly, just believing in myself and believing in my teammates and listening to my coaches. Everything that they say, I try to take in and, just do to my best ability because that's really all they ask.
I want to talk about some of your favorite memories as we're going to be coming up and making some more during this playoff run. But what are some of your favorite memories that you've had with Hoban basketball and Hoban High School as well, too? It doesn't have to be basketball related, just some of your favorite memories.
Yeah. Well, I like the practices when Coach Willie tries to shoot or something, or he'll like try to run with us, and then he acts like he's injured and stuff. That is funny. Um, Once again, going down to states freshman year, I think was one of the best experiences that I ever had. Even though I didn't contribute much, it was still just the experience itself that was so cool. And I think it would be cool again if I could go my freshman and my senior year. So that's really just a goal for me. But yeah, and making TikToks with my teammates, everything. I just love, hanging out with my teammates. So.
You mentioned that freshman year, and you mentioned you want to kind of get to that same stage you were at freshman year for your senior year. I'm kind of curious, what is the biggest thing you've learned about yourself from freshman year to senior year now?
Um, the biggest thing I learned about myself that I can do it, because sometimes freshman year I feel like it was pretty rough for me. I didn't have the most confidence and things like that, but as I've grown and as I've listened to the coaches more, I feel like I can definitely do whatever it is that they need me to do. So,
I know that Knights program always has a huge following. Our streaming numbers on YSN prove it. There's plenty of people that support Archbishop Hoban in and around the state of Ohio nationwide, right? You talked about your freshman year and just trying to build that confidence into your senior year. What's the bit of advice you would give maybe a freshman that looks at a Mackenzie Edinburgh now and says, I want to be able to do what she's doing at Hoban or at a high level of high school basketball?
I would say don't get discouraged. Keep pushing. Just listen to the people around you. Listen to your coaches, especially, and just keep moving forward. Don't let the little things get to you. And yeah,
Talk about your love of basketball. Do you have a favorite pro or favorite college team that you follow?
I like Juju Watkins.
Okay.
Pretty good. So
You talk about that too. Would you say that you use any kind of I would say maybe I guess advice or try to emulate play styles too, or is there any kind of player that you kind of look at and say I play similar, or I try to take some of those moves?
I don't know honestly. I feel like I just kind of play. However, I don't really think that I play like a certain player. I just think I just do whatever it is that I need to do.
You play
So.
like the first Mackenzie Edinburgh is what you do, right? No doubt, no doubt. I want to talk about a little bit about just the support system around you and the people that have always kind of been there, having your back too. I want to give you that chance to shout out that support system that you couldn't have done this or been on this journey without.
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out my mom and my dad and my siblings because they've been there for me since day one through all the AAU tournaments, through all the tears, all the blood, the ankle injuries, literally everything. I just want to thank them because I wouldn't be here without them. So,
And finally, I guess the one last question for you now too. We talked about the chapters leading up to the senior season. We're ready for the tournament time,
yeah.
but we know it's going to end, whether it's hoisting a trophy or not. It's going to end this season. What's the plans for Mackenzie Edinburgh after high school's all said and done for her?
I think that I'm going to go to trade school and major in ultrasound tech. So
Oh, wow.
that's really where, yeah.
Is that something like when did you kind of decide to nail that one down, or has this kind of been brewing for the last few years of an interest?
Uh, I don't. It hasn't really been brewing for years. It just sort of came about like here in the past couple years. So yeah,
Well, well, Mac, we wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future endeavors. We give you a big congratulations for the 4 years you've been able to put high school ball to in this senior season at Hoban too. Final thing for you, I would just want to give you the stage. Shout out anyone you need to shout out. Let that Hoban Knights community and the Hoban Knights school let them know what they meant to you.
I want to thank my coaches, my teammates for always having my back, the school Hoban, because without you guys, I would not be here, and my family.
As Mackenzie Edinburgh, one of the sharpshooters over there at Archbishop Hoban High School, enjoying her senior season and getting ready for another tournament run. This has been another edition of Player Profile with Ty Bartell.
Thank you.